Snipers, you have to see what's happening at the Bitcoin price right now. As I just got on-chain analytics showing over $500 million of Bitcoin coming onto exchanges. I've actually been monitoring this every day for the last few weeks, and it has been a while since we've seen this much Bitcoin come onto exchanges. And so I will address the bears on the channel today, and I also want to talk about whether or not I'm still looking for a long position right now, because we've yet to really see much volatility with Bitcoin due to the fact that the S&P 500 has yet to cross below its 100-week moving average. And so Bitcoin right now is having a cup of coffee at this 100-week moving average. And I want you all snipers to realize this. We've been covering this consolidation from the first test of the 600-day moving average for Bitcoin. And we've predicted multiple times that we were going to come back above 40,000. And we've already seen it 3 times. And now here's the question. For this third test of 35,000, are we going to be forming a higher low, or are we going to be seeing Bitcoin come into no man's land and potentially test this range of 35,000 to 25,000? Of course, anytime you enter a large range, you'd expect to find support at the midpoint of the range. So we would expect 30,000 US dollars to come on the table potentially if we breach below 34,788 with decisiveness. Now, here's the thing. Because it's the weekend, snipers, anything can happen. All cards are on the table, as I mentioned yesterday. If we get a test below 34,788 before equity markets open, then I will take a long position. But if we have to wait until equity markets open for us to potentially come down below 34,788, I will not take a leveraged long position, because if equity markets are open, that is normal trading hours, institutions are participating, and there could be a likelihood that we see a failure and a test of 30,000. That's my bearish scenario in the immediate short term if we cross below 34,788. And I will mention this for the bears as well. I'm just going to stick true to the Snipers channel, and we'll talk about this as if it's a range. If 34,788 breaks, it opens up the door to 24,788. I don't know why it says 731. I think that got switched since we haven't looked at this level for quite some time. So I will go ahead and actually add that back. So it's 24,788. That's the major support if we breach below 34,788. That's for the bears. Now, right now what the bulls need is to get back above 36,500. We've yet to do so. It wouldn't be a surprise for Bitcoin to come and test 38,000, because all it would be doing is getting towards its monthly and weekly open, which the S&P 500 has already done. And so if we come and we test 38,000, that would be the preferred bullish scenario. But at this point, the range that we're in has a resistance of 36,500 and a major support of 34,788. If we come below 34,788 during the weekend, while the S&P 500 is still above its 100-week moving average, I will take a leveraged long position. If we have to stay inside of this range until equity markets open up on Sunday, with futures markets coming up at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then obviously Monday the bell will ring at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If it takes that long for Bitcoin to stay in this range, then I will reevaluate the potential long position below 34,788 based on how equity markets open up the week. And so I just want to be very clear. That's my weekend playbook. If we see some volatility, I'll take the trade. But if it prolongs, time is also a very big factor when it comes to trading. If we have to wait, then I'm not going to take that trade, at least not with a full confirmation until we see equity markets open up. And then Ethereum to Bitcoin chart still holding up strong. That's a very positive sign. Bitcoin dominance still starting to sell off. You can see below all of its major daily moving averages right now. And so I know some people are starting to get bullish for Bitcoin dominance, but nope, not yet. And so still very bullish puzzle pieces on the table there. And that's really it for today, guys. You know, we haven't seen much Bitcoin come onto exchanges in a while. I've been monitoring this every single day, and today we have $500 million in Bitcoin coming onto exchanges. So I felt the need to at least address the bearish scenario. And if we see this during the weekend coming below 35,000, I will start dollar cost averaging into a leveraged position. But if we have to wait until futures markets open and equity markets open up, then we're going to have to reevaluate the situation. Guys, things change on a daily basis. $500 million of Bitcoin wasn't on exchanges a few days ago. Now it is on exchanges. And so we have to address a bearish scenario. That's why it's important to tune into our videos every single day, not just watch one video and then another month later watch another video and then assume that you know exactly what's happening based on our analysis. No, every single day, markets are dynamic. Time is a factor, and $500 million coming onto exchanges hasn't happened in a while. Could that justify a potential sell-off? Absolutely. Our max downside scenario, if we breach below 34,788, is 30,000 initially. Based on how that happens, if we see that happen, if we come to 30,000, then I'd assume we'd come back, test 35,000 as a resistance. If we can't hold, maybe there's further downside left. But 34,788 is a major level. We're having a cup of coffee now. We haven't even come to test the monthly open at 38,000. $500 million of Bitcoin coming onto exchanges. To me, it just looks like a melting pot for the bears to create some sort of price action here. So let's see what happens, snipers. You know, we're seeing a lot of on-chain analytics showing that short-term hodlers are the ones selling right now, especially with this recent dip. It was only coins that were, I think, almost 6 months old that have sold. Anyone that was holding coins in Bitcoin for over a year didn't participate in this recent sell-off, so that's a very positive thing. So short-term price action. NASDAQ closing the week, testing its 600-day moving average for the first time since March of 2020, where we ended up reversing back to the upside. So are we at a bottom? I believe we're close to a bottom. That's my bias opinion. If you wanted to ask me what my bias is, I believe we're close to a bottom in the NASDAQ. If the NASDAQ bottoms, then we can see Bitcoin perform. By the way, check this out. If we look at this chart, we can actually pull up the NASDAQ 100. We'll just pull up the NQ1 against Bitcoin. What's very interesting about this chart is the fact that the NASDAQ against Bitcoin, what you'll notice here, it actually looks better if we were to look at it with Bitcoin against the NASDAQ. Check this out, snipers. We are inside of an ascending, or I would call this a symmetrical triangle with higher lows forming. Matter of fact, we had a similar symmetrical triangle all throughout 2015 all the way to 2020, where we broke out, and now we broke out of this, and now we are in this second symmetrical triangle. And Bitcoin right now against the NASDAQ is quite undervalued. It's sitting at support. This is something to monitor as well. Don't worry though, if you're tuned into this channel, I'm monitoring all of these four-dimensional puzzle pieces. Definitely not on my phone. For those that know, I have a very nice chart trading setup that I am continuously monitoring. Every weekend we update our weekly opens on our charts. I go through and I do an audit of all of the different markets, commodities, equities, the cryptocurrency market. And I look at where opportunities are for our Discord group, because we're trading every single day. So it's just that a lot of you prefer these videos on the iPhone, because apparently I can get out my analysis with a little bit more of some, I guess, directness. And so anyways, thank you all for tuning into our channel today. I'll continue to monitor the charts for you as always. Sniper, smash like button for the YouTube algorithm if you support this content, and we'll see what happens. $500 million of Bitcoin coming onto exchanges. What's that gonna mean? Thank you all. I'll see you next time. Snipers,